Hello and welcome. This is Japan, and we have NXT Stand and Deliver this weekend. So I thought I'd do a prediction video. It's been a little bit just because this is that weird season between, the last couple PLEs and WrestleMania type stuff that we normally don't get a lot of stuff. And now that they have Stand and Deliver on its own weekend a couple weeks before, I think it's kind of a better idea. I don't think it gets kind of buried because there's just a lot of wrestling and a lot of stuff on WrestleMania that a lot of people don't check out Evolve. I mean, or not Evolve, NXT. But this will be better. I just started watching last night's Evolve, so that's why it's on my brain. But let's go over the card, and we will pick who we think is going to win here. First off, we kind of have, I guess, the throwaway match. It's the Hank and Tank, Shiloh Hill, and EK Prosper, which is Eli Knight's new name. I kind of like it. I think it'd be interesting. And Rin Sinclair versus the Birthright, which is Lexus King, Stax Lorenzo, Charlie Dempsey, Connors, and Ariana Gray. So it's a mixed tag match. Kind of an interesting match here. I don't really expect much of it. I think it's just going to be a soaking like 12 to 13 minutes onto the card just because it's been a storyline that they've been building up, and it gets 10 extra people on a major PLE. That is kind of great. Plus, Ariana Grace being the Knockouts champion, that shows that off. And Ren Sinclair being the Speed champion also shows that off. So I think that's all kind of good to have that. So I think it works out pretty well. So honestly, I think if you look at it, it's more of like who's going to take the pin, because I feel like the Birthright kind of needs the win here to really solidify them as a faction on a major stage. But like, I think it would have to be Hank or Tank taking the L, because Shiloh and EK Prosper are both singles competitors. So like, them taking an L is a lot more in like this type of situation. Rin Sinclair being the Speed champion, and they're trying to like build her up a little bit, would be kind of crazy to have her have the L. Now if they're gonna be crazy, have Rin beat Grace, and then would possibly be up for a double championship or something down the line. That could be a different story, but I do think Birthright needs to win. So I'm gonna go Birthright, and I'm probably gonna say Hank or Tank is gonna be the one that takes the pin here. Then we get the men's NXT championship for the tag team titles. It is the Vanity Project versus Los Americanos. I think the Vanity Project wins here. There's no point of having the Americanos win this. This is kind of just like a stopover for them. It's to kind of build like this will be a better match, and it really will help the Vanity Project look better. I've been watching them since they've been on Evolve, and they are pretty solid tag team to invest in, and giving them the tag team titles right off the bat is kind of where you can see that's the truth, that they're trying to actually do something with them. So I don't think they should lose it on their first defense, and winning against the Americanos would be a very bigger a bigger win for them overall, because they're beating a team that's on the main roster. But you never know. But I'm going to go with the Vanity Project. Then we have the North American men's title is Joey Gargano versus Miles Bourne. This is an interesting one because Joey Gargano's whole thing is just being kind of depressed and all that. It would be kind of interesting for him to win if they're going to use him down in NXT. I feel like it wouldn't be a bad person to win here, but like also like kind of just beating an upstart like Miles Bourne kind of feels wild. But I feel like this is a major PLE and stuff needs to change. So I'm going to go with Gargano winning here, but I'm not 100% on it. So we'll see. Next up, we have kind of the biggest feud rivalry one that they have, Sol Ruka versus Zarya here. I think Zarya needs to win. I think Sol's already top tier, ready for the main roster. Zarya needs this signature win and to end this feud, and I think this would be a great way to build up Zarya for whoever or whatever she's going to do next. So I'm going to go with Zarya here. I think she really needs it. Then we go to the North American Women's title. It would be Tatum Paxley versus Blake Monroe. Honestly, this match has had a nice build to it. I do think Paxley should hold on to this. It kind of would suck that she pretty basically gets a title and loses it right away every time if that's what they decide to do with it. I think Blake Monroe obviously would be a good choice to be champion again, because it's all just been a side quest for her since she was champion and just kind of lost it, not in the greatest way with the whole Thea Hale botch, but I just really don't see it. It's kind of one of those things where Stand and Deliver normally really sets the tone for NXT for the next year, but a lot of these matches just kind of feel like, like they really don't have anything that's like gonna show it. It's just kind of ending a bunch of stuff and just honestly just kind of to a lot of these matches because I don't think there's going to be a lot of just random wins or losses. I think it's just going to kind of be most of the champions retaining. Honestly, I could see all five champions retaining, and I would not be surprised, even though I've already voted for one of them to change. I just really, feel like that's they could easily do that, and it wouldn't really change much of anything because none of the decisions would be anything crazy like or shocking if they retained or lost it. That's just the kind of sad part of it. So yeah, I think Paxley retains here. I think it's going to be a fun match. I am looking forward to this match more than all the rest of them. Then we get to the women's championship match, which I now think it's been officially set as a triple threat because of the pin submission thing. It's Jace versus Kendall Gray versus Lola Vice. This is a weird one because I think no matter what Vice or not Vice, Jace should lose. I think there's really no way that she should retain here. I think that's would be the worst decision. I think you definitely have to decide what you want to do here with Lola Vice and Kendall Gray. I think Lola Vice being used in AAA and different stuff, I think she's already solidifying herself as her own star. But if she doesn't win here, then there's really not much of a point of keeping her NXT because it's just like she's been kind of used on AAA stuff that she really should just be on the main roster doing some background stuff there instead of just background stuff on NXT. But I think you have to give it to Kendall Gray here. I mean, she's one of my favorite wrestlers on NXT, and I watched her all the way at Evolve. I think it's my sentimental pick here, but I'm gonna go with Kendall Gray. I think it would be a shoot, putting a rocket on her and letting her get shot off right here. And with her, winning and then possibly having Zarya as that first person as a challenger, I think could be a really fun feud slash matches. So I'm gonna go with Kendall Gray, but I could really see Lola Vice winning too. But I really want Gray. Last but certainly not least, we have a fatal four-way for the men's NXT Championship. Honestly, I think you could just pick a number 1 through 4, and you could possibly have a better shot at being right here. Honestly, I feel like the safest bet is to let Joe Hendry just retain. I don't think they're going to do that. I think he's had a little bit of time on the title. I think they want to try something different. Ricky Saints, has already had a superstar type get up. I mean, Ethan Page just won the title, won the North American title. He had that North American title for nearly a record amount of days. Just all of that is already star-studded stuff. He doesn't really need the title here. And Tony D'Angelo is the only one that's thirsty that really needs this title. Like he needs it absolutely to make his new character work. And I just honestly could not care if it does. I'm not a big fan of that character or a big fan of him in general. I don't really like his wrestling compared to everybody else. So I'm going to think and feel like that the title is going to drop, but I'm gonna go with Tony D'Angelo because honestly that seems like the dumbest thing for them to do. So I think that's what they're gonna do. But yeah, tell me if you guys are gonna watch this weekend. It's been surprisingly like at least for me in Evolve or not Evolve, that's what I keep saying, NXT. I've been watching it and having fun with it, but man, like the overall story of it has just been a little bit lackluster. So I'm excited for this, but I feel like it could be either really good or a big letdown. It's really 50-50, and I'm cautiously going to watch it and hope that there's going to be something crazy, but I don't know. I could also see Nikki Blackheart debuting. She's already kind of vacated her titles, and I think she's WWE bound. If you don't know about her, she's an absolute beast. I could see her debuting possibly in the NXT Women's North American Championship match. I could also see her going straight for the title type of thing if they really have already worked out her. But I think she should definitely, if there's a chance for her to debut, this would be the time to debut her, even if it's just like a crowd signing like they did with Julia a couple years ago. That would also be pretty solid. So I guess we'll see. I guess that's the only shocking thing I could really think of. I don't think there's going to be much of anything else here. Probably appearance from Sexy Red, appearance from Shawn Michaels. Um, That's about it. I don't know. But until next time, this has been Japan. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And tell me if you guys are excited for WrestleMania season. We're kind of full effect here after seeing this. So until next time, bye guys.